Welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Scott Minton. Today we are sitting down in the Bourbon Lounge again with Nick, Mr. Hayden. How you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for bringing us in.
Yeah, the Bourbon Bunker is always open.
Always open.
I feel like it's above ground, so we can't like.
Wow.
Why you gotta be a punk, man?
I'm just saying, like, what if we?
It had a ring to it. Now I have to think of a new name.
Well, yeah, the bunker's in ground.
Bourbon Apartment.
Bourbon Penthouse.
Oh, there we go.
Penthouse.
There we go.
Love
There we
that.
go.
Is there a fancy word for penthouse that maybe begins with a B? So we can make some alliteration on it?
I'll have to look up some synonyms later.
Synonyms?
Synonyms.
Synonyms for...
Not cinnamon, synonyms.
Listen, dude, words are hard.
Bourbon Boudoir.
I do like that. We need some chicks running around, though, in their bra and panties, though, and I don't know if Nick's wife's going to be okay with that.
The legend's coming in hot tonight.
Hey, what happens in the penthouse stays in the penthouse.
That's right. Also with us, Nick alluded to it. We got the legend, Stephen J. Scott, in the house. What's up, Steve?
Happy to be here. Looking forward to another fun night.
Good deal. And then
Fine.
Too Jazzy.
I'm just here.
Matt, Too Jazzy. Jazz now?
I'm just here.
Yeah. So Matt was
Here for bourbon.
Matt was the smart guy, and he brought some stuff along for us to do a tasting tonight. And these are 3 hot off the press bottles we've seen over the last few weeks being released here in the Kentucky market. Thomas S. Moore. We've got a port cask, a Cabernet Sauvignon, and a Chardonnay cask. So
if you want to have more of an accent next time you say Cabernet, I'd really appreciate that.
Cabernet Sauvignon. I listen, I've been to Switzerland, I've been to France, I've been to Germany, I've been to a lot of places, but I don't have a very good accent.
We know.
It's just not there. I'm sorry. So anyway, we've got these 3 bottles. Matt, do you want to dive in, tell us a little bit about what you know about them, and then we'll try them and go from there?
I don't know a whole lot about them, but I was really curious to try them because we know that these are Barton, the 1792. It states that very clearly on the back of the bottle. But this is really the first time that they've done kind of a 3 cask finish on what seems to be 3 different proofed bourbons. So we'll have to do a little bit more research into it to see if they're different mashes, if they're different ages. There's no information on there whatsoever about it. But maybe our dear friend Google will tell us a little bit more.
I see Nick hot at work.
Nick's shaking his head no, so I'm assuming not.
I am not finding a lot of information on these other than the 3 cask finishes, and that's about it.
So yeah, and they're a range, right? They're from 92 proof all the way up to 96. So a little disappointing they didn't put them out at cask strength. I know we all love to see new things at cask strength, especially in finishes. So we'll take a crack here and see what we all think of them.
Good deal, good deal. Well, let's dive in first. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. First, I'm going to talk about the bottle and what we're drinking, but the first one we're going to drink is the port cask. It is a 98.9 proof. It says extended cask finish, so pretty fancy.
Scott, what's your first impression of that bottle? How do you think it looks compared to their normal stuff? And
so I will say this bottle is I think it's kind of elegant. I think it's nice. It's sturdy as hell. Like it's one of the more sturdy bottles I've held in a long time. It's got some heavy, like some thickness to it. I don't really know what. I mean, it's kind of like a big rectangle. And then it's got like a diamond / octagon top that kind of goes into the actual neck of the bottle. That's the best way I would know how to describe it.
Sure. This is really entertaining watching you trying to describe this bottle. Go on.
I have not seen a bottle like this. Like
there's one bottle that's similar. It's that Trump vodka bottle. Actually, looks incredibly similar to that. It really, yeah. If you pull it up,
Trump vodka.
I never thought I'd really get political on this, and don't hold me to that. But just the bottle itself, they really share a similarity to it.
I did find out my one little tidbit. I'm going to add. It says it's finished in 1 to 3 years. So whatever. That's
a long time for a finish.
It's a wide range, but that's what they say. It's finished for an extended amount of time for 1 to 3 years.
Yeah, so I bet that's why it's at a lower proof, because you probably had to mellow out the flavor a little bit, because I imagine sitting in a port cask for that long, it's going to be really, really...
I don't know. I think that's too long.
Well, listen, we're going to try it. Did you try it? Have you smelled it?
I haven't tried it yet.
I mean, well, come on. We need somebody to smell it. Tell me what they smell, what they taste, while we're looking at the bottles.
It's like a bourbon review or something.
Well, it kind of is. You jackleg. Jeez, man. Now I'm going to have to get in here and smell and like talk about something while you're over there just doing nothing. Jeez.
I get a lot, like, I do get a lot of port finish, but I get a little over oaked of a port finish, like a real heavy kind of oak to it. And that usually happens when it sits in there for too long. So it's not, it's pretty spot on with the description of it.
Yeah.
It's not as much port as I would have expected.
I'll be honest with you. It smells kind of alcohol-y. I mean, it's got some heavy alcohol smell to it. And I don't know if it's pulling it off the port or if it's coming off the bourbon.
So my experience with port finishes, when you tend to cut it with water, you lose that finish of the port flavor in there. And since these were pre-cut, right, I feel like we've lost that finish right off the bat.
That's a unique perspective. So I'm going to try this. Give me your first insight, and then we'll go to Nick and then Steve. So that way we're staying in a circle here or a square, and we'll go from there.
Meh.
I don't know. There's just...
I mean,
there's not a lot of...
It's not bad.
There's nothing to it, though.
What is retail? $70 on this?
Yeah.
70, $80?
Yeah, $60, $70.
I mean, it's... I'll agree with Steven on this one. I don't get the port taste. Like I get a lot of the heavy oak, and like you mentioned right off the go, but it's
more oak comes through than a port finish.
I don't get that port finish, like, and I like port. I mean, my family's from Wisconsin, so I mean I can tell stories about going up to all the wineries and
like cheese, not port.
Oh, I like port and cheese curds. They're coming down
right?
They're coming down next week. They're bringing hopefully a cooler full of spotted cow cheese curds and some.
I
goodies.
will in search of 1 6-pack at least. So I don't know.
So
the problem is that we're all in our heads. I feel like we're all going to think the same thing. We are comparing this to a very obvious other port finished bourbon in our minds, and they also cut it back with water, but they taste nothing alike, and it's very interesting. And the proofs are almost similar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, to me, I just don't get this one. It doesn't have the nose that I would expect to have. The flavor is just a little flat. I'm going to agree with, Steven on this one, as far as like when we talked the last time, he spoke about how he doesn't really like finished bourbons. And I'm not going to say I don't like finished bourbons, but this is one I'm just not real crazy about. It's just missing something. It's just flat. Like there's your normal caramels or vanillas or things like that you would normally pick up. I'm just not really getting a whole lot of it.
Yeah, this is just like wood and like alcohol, just like that burn. Like I said, it's.
I don't really get a burn to it.
I do. I get on the nose, especially. It's heavy on the nose, really? And then like in it's. I'm going to say from your mid palate back is kind of like it's alcohol-y. I mean, it tastes like bad port wine. Like how sometimes port wine is it's very sugary, very alcohol-y. Like you can get that. Like it. That's what it tastes like to me.
Kind of like that one time we tried the rosé finished bourbon, and we thought it was like barefoot rosé that they finished it in. I
thought they just finished it in beet.
This is gross.
If you hadn't told me this was finished, I'd have never known.
Right, but it doesn't taste like bourbon either, though.
No,
I
mean, flat.
You can tell it's been finished, and it doesn't have a normal bourbon flavor to it.
Doesn't have much flavor at all.
It's almost like a whiskey, like a whiskey that's not been aged a whole bunch. I don't know. It's just weird. It's got a great color. I mean, it's a beautiful bottle, great color. I just feel like it's missing something there. I can't tell you what it is. I might put a drop of water in this. Just out of fairness to the thing to see.
Have a dropper.
Oh, I forgot I had a dropper. Damn! Look at you. You're so smart.
You poured a bottle of water in there, and you have a dropper.
Listen,
I try to be a good host.
I know,
dude. And he just like slaps me in the face.
And you are the hostess with the mostest. We appreciate it so much. You did put out these nice, beautiful droppers for us, and I screwed the pooch. I totally, did it. Now, I would say the water did open the nose.
It's going to, but
I mean, it smells much better. Like I don't know how it tastes any better, but it smells better.
I almost wish they would have left it at a higher proof. Like I always get upset when they proof it down, and it's like, man, it's like I think something's missing. And if they would have just left it like that, just above 100, maybe 110, like what that would have done. Like it's like I can only speculate.
The magic proof 107. Yeah.
So it's 100 times better watered down. Like it's not a bad pour once you've put a little water in it. It would be a preference in my situation. I don't think that I would buy another one of these bottles just because I would have to water it down enough to make it, but I don't know. All right, on to the Cabernet
I don't know.
Sauvignon. I need you to get in there, get the nose working, tell me what you smell, get the schnoff. Come on, man. Show me some love. Get the schnoff in the glass. We should have gave you the bigger Glencairns.
I mean, I can get you the big Glens.
No.
The baby Glens, like, they moderate how much we're drinking. I got to walk across the lawn to get home. I mean, I can't just sleep out
It's
here.
really far away.
I know. You're gonna have to get
Your
a whole.
penthouse. I don't. Someone's gonna have to.
You're gonna have to stumble a whole 60 feet to get to your bed. So, what do you think on this Cabernet, man? Where are you at on it?
I mean, you definitely get a red wine nose to it. That actually comes through.
So using my Google Analytics, aka search skills, they say this is 5 to 7 years, and then it's finished an additional 2 to 5 years in the Cabernet barrel.
This has to be an experimental collection.
They also say this is like a high rye.
Okay, so I always thought a high rye goes well with a cab finish. I actually agree that would go well together.
So the proof on this one is 95.3. So once again, a little low if you're going to have a finished product.
So, but I wonder because, all right, so you cut it down to water, but you have a very specific, decimal point to it, right? 95.3. That's not like no one really proofs it down to the exact tenth of a proof. So
No, this was something where they're like, hey, we want to get roughly to this point, or maybe what they did, and this is pure speculation, right, is they're like, hey, we need to add, we've got 600 barrels of this or 40 barrels or whatever the number is. We need to add 1 barrel of water to each one of these, and then they just became what they were, right, at that point.
The other thing is, what if they just put all these at low entry proofs, right? And then, so think about it.
Have you ever seen any barton that was sitting at that low of entry proof? I mean,
no, but I've seen Heaven Hell that sits at that low of entry proof. If you had the 27-year-old Heaven Hell, that's below 100 proof, and that they claim that to be barrel proof. That's at 90 something, if I'm not mistaken. And so
the new Bardstown, the Prisoner and the Pfeiffer Pavé, they came out at 100 proof, which is very specific, but they label it cask strength.
Yeah, they did,
like clearly on the front of the bottles.
Yeah, so that's not it's not super uncommon for a barrel proof to be a very low proof, but it obviously had a lower entry, or something happened.
Yeah, that would be a stupid low entry proof. I mean, most people don't.
But again, it has happened in the past, and maybe that's what happened with this batch. Is all of these came out of low entry proof, so they said, why not finish it? We have no idea.
Gotcha. So, Stephen, what do you get on this, boss?
I hadn't tried it yet.
I get more of the wine, more of the Cabernet, certainly. It's a nicer nose than the port.
This is a nicer drink, 100%.
It has a more delicate nose for sure.
Yes.
Well, and it finishes pretty well, too, actually.
I haven't sipped it yet, so I don't know.
You kind of get that rye, some of that spice kind of in there.
That's why they go well together, yeah. Is there any information on where the cab barrel came from, or...
I will read what they have.
No, just highlights, Cliff Notes.
I could actually drink a whole bottle of this.
Actually, I'm not mad about this one.
I like this one, actually. I like this one a lot. The high rye comes through the finish there. It's got that nice spice. It's really, really forming on the back half of my tongue, coming through really, really nice.
That rye stays back there really nicely.
It has a nice finish.
It does. It's got a really, really nice finish.
It does not say where the barrels came from.
Boo.
I wonder if this is their 60% one, because they got that one mash bill that's like 61% corn, and I think it's like 20 something or 30% rye, and then like 8% malted barley or something like that.
This just says their signature high rye mash bill, aged in new charred oak barrels, 5 to 7 years. Then the whiskey is transferred into secondary cask for an additional 2 to 5 years.
I think it's a long time to finish it in red wine, but
it still leaves a huge gap. Like 2 to 5 years is a long time.
Well, it's a whole lot full of things. I mean, right? It's all sensory driven.
Yeah.
Maybe they lost them in the warehouse.
Oh, this warehouse collapsed. Oh, there's some of the ones that we were looking for.
I'm curious if they batched them all if they're the same proof all the way through, or like occasionally like you'll see like the Lux Row 12-year, some of those that have differing.
Well, those are really specific.
Yes, yeah. So I'm just curious if like this is the same proof all the way across, or if there's like a couple different batches in there.
I don't know. It's definitely very unique. I actually enjoy this one.
Really do enjoy it as well, actually.
And I tell you why. I mean, I really like the nose on it. I'm going to put a couple of drops of water in it.
I'm also going to tell you what. This goes well with a cigar. This would pair really nicely with like a mid-bodied cigar.
We need to do a couple more episodes where we pair up some good bourbon with some cigars.
We can be smoking cigars outside next time.
I don't, listen, I'm not a huge cigar guy, but I do like a cigar every now and then.
Well, good. This will be a now and then.
But the nose doesn't, water no goodie. at least on the nose.
Water no goody. Everybody, that's Scott's new catchphrase is water no goody.
It's true. Water is no goody unless you're trying to keep sober.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think as is.
I think as is much better.
Yep. Would be my go-to on this.
I concur, doctor. Can we say that on the air? Is that copyrighted?
Doctor?
Doctor, concur, doctor.
I'm 100% with you.
I'm not a doctor just yet. I am getting ready to defend my proposal, though.
Hey, there you go.
3 weeks. So soon, like within like 6 months, you could say doctor, possibly.
Am I going to have to call you doctor, though?
No.
That's the one thing that always bothers me about some, doctors.
I was going to make give my wife a hard time, like, you're going to have to call me doctor now. And she's like, no, I will not. And I go, okay. So I lost that battle pretty quick.
You didn't even put up a fight.
No.
Maybe she'll play doctor.
Ooh, there you go.
She is a doctor.
I know.
Oh.
Well, no, we knew she was a doctor, but I didn't know.
Oh, so now it's going to be like doctor and doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor.
What an annoying way to address somebody.
Bad case.
It just makes like those like wedding invitations super long because you got to do like each like name. So that's like doctor so and so, doctor so and so.
So my wife, when she started
Just
getting
not invite you.
all of her
easier.
That's what it's going to be like. They're going to have to give me like the card and I'm going to mail in a check.
It's bad, That's what I told my wife whenever she started getting like her master's, and then she got her 30 plus, and then she got her 45, and like all these other little things that she's been working through teaching. And I'm like, you're pretty soon you're gonna have more initials after your name than you got in your name. Because she's got a BA in this, and then she's got something in math, and she got a master's, and I'm like, good Lord, how much of these little dots are you gonna add and letters and crap at the end of your name? So
it's gonna have to go around like the business card. It just loops around. Like it's gonna be like to be
Her
continued.
business card is a circle.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
This doesn't fit in the wallet very well.
So I'm in on this Cabernet on the Chardonnay.
I like this.
Oh
wait, you're already.
Yeah, I'm on the Chardonnay. Yeah.
Way to say you moved on.
Sorry, my bad.
He didn't even give us notice.
No,
I mean, he just straight up like I think he's just over there drinking all of them.
Yeah. Scott's shooting them back one by one.
Listen, once I set up at water, that means I'm moving to the next one. All right. I mean, this is clear, concise information here. Now, did I say it? No, but
for you, not for the rest of the table.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 of us.
Come on now, you and Matt are just down there just bullshitting about all this other stuff going on in your world. Doctor.
I'm pretty sure you were the one who went on a rant about your wife's accreditations.
You're right, I did. Shh! Don't tell anybody. It's secret. So the Chardonnay, I mean,
I think this. I feel like
I'm afraid
this
is going to be like number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Then, and maybe I just don't know what good Chardonnay smells like because I don't drink.
So you know what's
Chardonnay.
funny is before you try it. So these are really the first people to do a legitimate Chardonnay finish because I can't really think of. And please tell me if Google corrects me because I'm sure it will.
97.9 on this one.
See, that's what I think. I think these might be really low cask strength. Like it really could be.
But it doesn't say cask strength.
It doesn't say anything.
I mean, you would typically say, "Oh, this is cask strength," because everybody loves, and everybody's single.
You know how Buffalo Trace is.
I guess.
Sazerac, sorry.
So there are a couple brands that do the Chardonnay.
According
to Google, it says I guess Barrel had one.
That's a one-off though.
Amador, Clyde Mays, it looks like did one, but there's not a lot out there. It's
Clyde Mays.
Yeah,
nasty.
But that's about it. So you're looking at maybe a handful of other brands that did it. So
I do love these bottles.
Yeah,
though.
so it's uncommon. Like I wouldn't go out of my way to say like, oh yeah, I totally see these in the store. Like obviously nowadays we'll see them in the store because they just were released recently. Obviously, Derby's coming, so nothing will be in nothing will be in stock anymore.
I'm eager to see like how finishes, like you see like rum finished a lot, or like you see like sherry cask, or like some of the brandies.
You see a lot of sherry cask.
So I wonder if like there's the
brandy's not so. I mean, you're gonna see Starlight does a lot of brandy finishes.
Well, Bardstown did there, a couple
Correct.
brandies, and I think there's a couple other brands that are working.
There's
on
some
brandies.
other things they're doing.
But I wonder if there's just like temperamental with certain things. Like Chardonnay is very temperamental with the casks. Like
so Chardonnay is really you can really only have a Chardonnay barrel a certain time of year. Like that's the only time you can get them. So yeah, they are temperamental with that.
So the nose on this one, and like I said, maybe it's because I don't know enough about Chardonnay. I can probably honestly say I've only had maybe 3 glasses of Chardonnay my entire life.
That's really good.
So I'm going to try
good.
this. Matt's saying it's really good. So
I'm not
going to
lie.
trust
We almost did from like worst to first.
I think we really did.
Unintentionally worst to first.
I'd heard that Chardonnay was actually the best one.
It definitely
I really like it.
It definitely has the best nose.
No, it has the best like.
See, I think it has the best taste, but
I think it has the best.
nose,
I don't think the nose is the best. I agree with Scott on that one. Not that Scott. That's Scott. No, I'm just kidding.
That's Stephen J. Scott.
Yeah, but he's still Scott.
I know.
I'd go with the Cabernet as the best nose, but this definitely has the best.
I'd agree.
Finish.
I would agree completely with that. This is This is still like a lingering finish. I actually really appreciate that.
It's very unique, and like I said, I've only probably had 4 or 5 glasses of Chardonnay my entire life. So
it was 3 a minute ago. Are you drunk?
No, I don't remember. Like I said, I'm guessing. Like I'm not a big wine drinker, right?
I think we have a new role for the podcast. We're gonna have like fact checker, kind of like they do on there. We're gonna just be like, what did we miss?
What did we miss? Scott said this, and then later he said that.
I'm gonna be the contrarian.
Yeah.
Hey,
mute him. We don't want to hear it. No, I'm just kidding.
I like the nose on this better. I like the taste on the Cabernet better.
Really?
Wow.
Well, I'm a red wine person.
Yeah. That's fair.
But I think
this did mirror the same thing: 5 to 7 years, finished 2 to 5 years. So,
I didn't think
that's a long time in a barrel.
Just different casks, I guess.
I still think that is a long time. But it's you can't. I can't complain too much with this flavor.
It's very tasty.
It's good.
We did go from first to last to work.
Even Steven that doesn't like finished bourbons is saying, "Hey, these last 2 were not too bad."
So yeah, that'll go to right as is this just bad whiskey that Sazerac found in Barton and decided to finish it, or is this going to be part of their experimental collection under Barton? Or
it seems like everyone's doing the experimental collection. Like if you think about it, like Buffalo Trace started, and I don't know who started it first, but it seemed like Buffalo Trace had the single oak project, and then you had Woodford had their like double oaks or their experimental 375s. But now you see Old Forester coming out with like their 117s.
Well, Buffalo Trace always had the experimental collection as well, the little guys.
Yes. So I wonder, again, I do appreciate the bigger bottles because I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when you get some of those, it's like, man, it's like, I wish it came in a 750.
Like a good double oaked. Like, all right, I kind of want some more of that.
And they're 375, so they can pack easy, like in a vest, like if you go to like the zoo or something like that. But again, it's just like there's something about just having a 750. Like it's that.
Yeah, I was extremely disappointed that the 117s did not come in 750s. They were so delicious, and the 375s just go to way too fast.
Right? A few pours, and you're like, oh, we got to get another bottle.
Yeah, especially a few heavy pours, and they're just done. And you can do that by yourself. That's exactly right. Sometimes
that's why we give him the baby Glens.
You're so mean to me. I'm going to cry a little bit.
Just pour another one. It's okay.
So overall, when we go through these things, we say, and it's not really a split decision. It's still a majority rules in this situation. So the Chardonnay's number 1, Cabernet's 2, and then the port is a distant third in these 3 bottles. We all agree there, except for obviously Steven. He said Cab/Chardonnay.
I think that the first 2 like separate themselves a lot from the other one. So if I had to buy 2, I'd buy those first 2, and I'd definitely leave the third one on the shelf. I don't think I'd go after a trifecta on this one.
I'm not offended.
You don't have to be offended.
Good.
I don't want you to be offended. Then again, Matt doesn't care if you're offended because he's jerky.
The Chardonnay is very good. It's just personal preference.
Just not as good.
I get
you like
that.
red wine,
no, I
right?
get that.
Yeah. That's funny. I don't know. So that's where we're at on these bad boys. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end this one on that. If you want to find us at Bourbon Barrel Talk, you can Google, Facebook us.
Google.
Yeah, our Gmail. Sorry, not Google. You don't want. I mean, you can Google us, right? You'll find our website. It's not very fancy, but we have one. You've got us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I think I'm becoming a fan of Instagram now that I'm talking about that. I like the pictures and less words. I'm not real good at reading. Anyway,
I guess your website's kind of like you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not very fancy.
Not very fancy. That's exactly right. Damn, Steven's throwing the shade today, man.
Wow, I like it. Throw more. Let's see what happens.
Tell you what,
he's fired up. He gets dinner and some drinks in, and he's on a roll.
I love it. He went to Vic's for dinner. Oh, free advertisement there. He went to Vic's for dinner. What's
Vic's?
Vic's. It's a little bar and grill
Cafe.
over in New Albany. They supposedly have the best cheeseburgers in New Albany.
Oh.
So we're gonna have to go over there one day.
That's
just
fine.
Me and you in the afternoon. We'll grab some Vicks and we'll kill some burgers and see what's up.
I went to that 80-20 today for lunch.
Down off of, yeah, that's really good.
That was tasty.
Good.
The pretzel bun is key.
Instagram, Twitter,
Pretzel
Facebook,
bun.
Pretzel Bun.
Pretzel bun.
You can find
And
us
a
all
fried
those
egg.
places. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, ding the bell
Always.
on the old YouTube.
Always.
And we're all good there. So this is Scott, Matt, Nick, and Mr. Stephen J signing off. Peace.